Hello, it's Cas here. How are you? Thank you so much for being here. You are part of the Mindful Moments course. When we do mindfulness, it's all about being aware, being present, and being conscious of our thoughts and actions. And when we become aware, like I said, we're more conscious, we're more in a place of action, and we start looking for things and doing things that are right for us, that ultimately will benefit us in our lives, in our relationships, in our jobs, and just general well-being, because you are a human and you deserve to be well. Thank you so much for being here. Before we begin, you may have downloaded the workbook sheets, which absolutely have come with the email. So feel free to do that. If you haven't, then it might be worth you just having a pen and piece of paper to write it down as you go, because studies show that when you write things down, you're more likely to stick to them and become part of your conscious awareness. So I really recommend you now find a safe space that you're calm. You might want to light a candle. And I would just say, just go with it. Really be vulnerable with yourself and allow yourself to write your thoughts down. There's going to be no one reading this. This is just you and myself. And we're going to be going through this guided session. And the beauty is that you can just write everything down. And I recommend you playing and pausing the video at any time when you want to answer some questions. I will be prompting you throughout, so feel free to listen to my prompts, but if there's anything that you think, actually I want a bit more time with that, then just pause it, or you can always come back to it or rewind it back so it's right for you, because this course is for you. When we take a moment to reflect and to look inwards, we start showing up better in the world, and I guarantee you'll have relationships will improve, you'll be aware of yourself more, you'll start showing up more, because you'll be aware of the world around you and what's right for you, because you deserve it. So thank you so much for being here. And before we begin, let's look at rose reflection. I want you to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Are you sitting comfortably? Do you need to go get some water now maybe? Or we just deep dive in? And again, you can always pause and play this video whenever you need, okay? So let's begin. What have you learned about yourself today? So for me, I've learned that I am very organized, and I'm very good at being organized because I have a lot of things to do, as we know, as teachers, and I'm very good at writing checklists. Now for you, that could be you help someone, or you might have learned that you're really kind and caring, even though you've had a busy day. You might have learned that you're there for others, and you might have answered a call. It might be that you've learned to set a boundary because actually you've overcommitted to things and you've had to put healthy boundaries in place. So again, this is about you, and it's whatever capacity you see fit, be it professional or personal. So feel free to pause and then play when you're ready to answer the next question. And then what made you proud of yourself today? So again, I'll be giving you my example, and then you can use your own, again, be it personally and professionally, or both. So what made you proud of yourself today? For me, I am proud that I am going to be going on a bike ride later on. That's what made me proud today, that I am continuously showing up for myself and looking after my physical well-being. That's something that made me proud today. Now for you, it could be you listened to a friend, you called a friend, you listened to a parent, you may have done a class, a gym class, you may have drank water, you might have woken up on time. So it's, again, whatever is personal for you and what makes you proud. And there's no matter how big or small, it's about you. So really share that with yourself. And it could be one or two things. Feel free to write them down and then press pause and then press play when you're ready for the next question. And then number 3, what one action will you do for yourself tomorrow? So tomorrow for me, I'm going to make sure I go to the gym after work, because actually I feel better when I leave. So I'm going to make sure I have my kit ready, and then I'm going to go straight to a gym class afterwards. Now, for you, that could be tomorrow to drink water in the day. It could be to make sure you try and have a sit-down break, that you leave the classroom. It could be that you call a friend to check in how they are. It could even be just to sit down and have time alone and just watch a TV program of your choice, for example. So what one action will you do for yourself tomorrow? Again, press pause and then press play when you're ready to move on. Now, that was a warm-up, a brief introduction to Let's Reflect, which is session 1. And again, when we look inwards, this really enables us to shine on the outside. And as I said, make sure you're sitting comfortably. You can pause this video at any time, even if you need to just get a quick drink or just a breather or just really have that thinking space. Really go with it, write it down. It's you and me doing this course, and it's about you writing down and being aware of things that matter to you and that are important. Okay, let's take another breath. Let's take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Another one. So again, you may have your sheet, and let's begin. And again, you can write it on a piece of paper if you want to as well. So what 3 things have happened to you and how did they make you feel? Okay, now this can be done in the year. It can be done over the last 12 months. It could be for 2020. It could be last week. So just think about you and things that have happened to you and that made you feel brilliant. And you may now want to look back on your phone and look at events. You know, did you have a birthday on Zoom where all your family came, or did you learn to bake during, last year when you had lots of free time? Did you realize you needed to reconnect with some old friends and family and just touch base with them, and actually you realize you linked with someone that you thought you'd lost touch with, and now all of a sudden you have regular WhatsApps with each other? So for me, I just wanted to say that I took up life coaching. That was amazing last year when we were working from home. I took up coaching and it's transformed my life so much so that I'm doing this course now and I trained to become a coach. So that was a brilliant thing that happened to me. Another thing was that I didn't used to drive when I was working here, and now I have a car and I just love the mobility. I love the fact that I can just be out and about. So even though I used to drive in the UK, I can now drive and be mobile, and it's just so amazing. I love it. And I feel that brilliant things have happened to me because of the coaching, and this is a bit of a professional one. I now am able to just be really confident in what I do and feel competent at what I do. And I had a personal breakthrough, because before I used to when I was working, I used to think, oh, can I do this? I'd question myself a lot. And now professionally, I really enjoy what I do, because I think I'm able to show up better because I'm aware, and I've done the reflection and all of this course that we've done. So I'm like, you know what, I am really a good teacher. I'm good at this. So it's instilled my confidence back in with the children, and I'm much more aware now with them in the classroom, as opposed to before I was just kind of going with it. So they're the big things. I had a bit of a conscious awareness awakening. It was amazing, and this is what this will do. This is what coaching is all about. We talk about you in a safe space. So again, for you, it could be professional. It could be you learn to run. It could be that you run longer, or you take up more exercise, or you have looked, make sure your diet's better. It can be, again, like I said, with friendships. So whatever is personal to you, it can be professional, it can be personal, but make it about you. Okay, it's all about you. And then again, pause this video and press play when you're ready. And then question 2, what are your 3 low points of the year and how did you handle them? So the low points of the year for me, and again, for you, it can be personal, it can be professional, it can be in any capacity that's about you and your life and your situation. So for me, in lockdown, I journaled a lot. I was journaling a lot because I wanted to just kind of write down how I felt every day. And again, lockdown was difficult, so I handled it by journaling. And then the low point was obviously when we were all told we were working from home, it was just like, okay, what do we do? Now, I actually love the fact, I actually prefer and love working from home. It's amazing, and it's become a love. So I learned to change my mindset and thought, okay, how can I make this work for me? And again, I journaled. I then was just looking at online courses, things I can do to just be active and busy, whilst being at home. And again, I missed my family during this past year. And so I just made a conscious effort to make sure we Zoomed every day. And not every day, initially it was every day. And then I was like, okay, this is too much. And so I then started Zooming like once a week just to check in. And it was really nice because I got, I was just back in touch with my family, and, I got to really know about, just rekindle those relationships on a real deep dive level. So it was amazing just to really know and be present with the people that are the most important to me. And again, for you, that could be, like I said, you might have decided to exercise more, you decided to reach out to friends or family or learn something new, or you might have just binged a TV series because then you got some time back for yourself and caught up on all the episodes that you missed and you wanted to do. You might have read more books. So what things happened to you, and then how did you handle them? And this is about resilience building in situations that come our way, how we're able to show and adapt. And when you look inwards, I know there will be things that in you that you've done, then you're like, wow, I've really done this. It's amazing. And it really is. And again, press pause and then press play when you're ready to come back. And what's the biggest lesson you've learned this year? This is a real big one, isn't it? And take the time to think about this. So it can be that, have you learned that you're resilient? Have you learned that you're patient? Are you learned that, when change comes, you have to adapt quickly, and then you could be really resourceful? Have you learned that you need to take more time for yourself and your well-being? Have you learned that you actually need to hang out with friends more because, they're really important to you and they fuel you? So I realized this year that I'm very resilient and I can take on most challenges and thrive. That's what I've learned. And what did you do this year that you were proud of? So again, this for you could be, you applied for a new job, you looked at different places to live, you now are much better connected with your friends, you take time to be you, you do things that make you happy. You might have learned a new hobby, you might have learned a new skill to cook, you might have done a CPD session and actually thought, wow, this has really changed the game for me. For me, and I promise you there'll be things, it could be no matter big or small. You could say, I've actually drank more water, I'm more hydrated. So there's no measure of this, okay? It's about you and it's personal to you. So for me, the things that I'm most proud of, and you can always come back to this, is I painted my apartment. I stood on a stool and painted my apartment myself with a paintbrush and a roller. So that was really a proud moment for me. And I took up life coaching. It changed the way I see my potential, and it just made me more present and more aware and more mindful, and so much so that I want to now share it with the world and share it with you doing this with me. Because again, when you become present, you become aware of yourself, and you're in a lot better place to make decisions that are right for you, rather than just going with the motion, because you're important, you're worthy, and you're valued, and you deserve to give yourself the love and the care that you give to others. So again, what were you most proud of? Feel free to pause and play this video when you're ready to move on. And finally, thank you. How are you feeling? How was it for you? What will you do for yourself today? I mean, the fact that we've reflected this then allows us to look and set those intentions for our future. Because when we look backwards, then we can put things in place to make sure we have a better tomorrow for ourselves, and that's personal to us. So what would you do for yourself today? Will you now shut down and go to sleep? Will you journal? Will you have water? Will you make yourself a nice tea? Will you call a friend? Just take the time to be you, and thank you so much for being in this moment. You are really giving your mind and yourself the biggest hug right now, because you're exercising the mind essentially by thinking about what's right for you. And that's how we grow, by getting to know ourselves and getting to know what's right for us. And then we're in a place of action. So thank you so much for being here. It really, really means a lot. And the fact that you're here is just brilliant. Feel free to contact me on Instagram at @themindfulteacher_UAE, or I will be seeing you in session 2. Bye for now.